Oh my God, you guys, come in, sit down, and shut the door. We gotta talk about what's going on between Mary J. Blige and Misa Hilton Brim. Okay, first of all, tattletales. Baby, I got the story all twisted. I put my ear to the street, and thanks to Mother Kitten, she set me straight. Baby, there are so many twists and turns into that $5 million lawsuit between Misa Hilton Brim and Mary J. Blige. But guess what? The streets are talking, and they have come back with some legit stuff. And let me tell y'all something. When Mother Kitten talks, I will always listen. Plus, I actually went and verified everything she's saying. So there seems to be some legitimacy in this. Okay, so where do we get started? Let's debunk all the rumors and talk about what the streets are saying are real. Mary J. Blige and Misa Hilton Brim are embroiled in a $5 million lawsuit with this rapper in Brooklyn called Vado. Now listen, at first when it happened, I said they got to be fighting over a man. Maybe this got to involve Diddy, right? Because it can't be over Vado. That rapper's been trying to happen since 2009, and he has not called fight. The last time I saw that mofo, he was on the screen, literally assaulting to Harry, and nobody said anything. That mofo is crazy, and I was like, so it can't be about him. He is not the golden prize. Come on, now. This is Brooklyn. There's a lot more skilled rappers out there that don't got 2 decades of trying to be that engine that could choo-choo, right? No shade to Vado, but you know what I'm saying. I don't see this as a reason to break up a 20, 30-year friendship. Well, guess what? Mother Kitten is like, you're right. It's not a reason to break up. So why is it? Baby, times are changing. And as much as I thought that this was linked to Diddy, and it still might be, we'll talk about that in a second, there are actually deeper things, some people would say even more sinister things going on, okay? Mary J. Blige finally sees this as a way to finally get free. She feels like she is free, and she wants to make sure that she never has to go back. Now, Freya, what you ask? Well, it's pretty simple, isn't it? Free of the whole Diddy, Clive Davis connection. Now, just hear me out. I'm going somewhere. Free of the whole Diddy, Clive Davis connection. For instance, okay, Mary's been trying to stand on her own to think, okay? Now, let me just start from the beginning. The first thing that I first thought, that Misa is Team Diddy, okay? People says they don't honestly think Misa is Team Diddy at all. They said they think that both Mary and Misa are Capricorns, and they are team themselves, okay? Mary, of course, wanted to be independent. She wanted to start and run her own label. She wanted to build legacy. She wanted to build wealth, okay? But the missing piece that a lot of people overlooked is that perhaps Misa was being too bossy and domineering, right? And Mary no longer wanted to be business partners. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. What are you talking about, Tisa? Well, I went to a little Google, because Google is our friend. Around the time that their friendship secretly started to fall apart, Mary J. Blige took a swipe on social media, and she vowed to burn bridges as needed. This is in March 2024, before Diddy got arrested. Now, back then, everybody thought she was taking a dig at Diddy, because there was even headlines saying Mary J. Blige takes swipe at Diddy and she vows to burn bridges as needed. But looking back to what's happened with Misa, I don't know, because listen, they said Mary wrote on Instagram, unfortunately, a lot of you all met me when I lacked boundaries and was a people pleaser. She said, presenting an older and wise version of herself, she said, let me reintroduce myself. I burn bridges as needed. Listen, a lot of people at that time when she posted that commended her for not being afraid to cut people out of her life, okay? Everybody thought it was about Diddy, but now looking back, it was about Misa Hilton Brim. Misa Hilton Brim enjoyed being Diddy's baby's mom to a certain extent. Now, I'm not saying that she was a horrible person and that she did it on purpose, but it's like when you are connected to somebody very, very powerful. Nobody's really going to tell you no, and you might take liberties that other people don't appreciate. But when that power and that backing is gone, you being domineering, overbearing, think you're going to run somebody's stuff, it don't fly anymore. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't fly anymore. So where does that leave us? Well, let's get back into this, right? Listen. So anyway, I think that Misa was being overbearing because she was Misa with Diddy's backing and Diddy's influence and Diddy's network, turning into just Misa just being, domineering, maybe not even noticing she was being domineering, okay? And instead of being vocal about that and how she felt, Mary went behind Misa's back and tried to sign Vado. Now, we can say Mary's boyfriend, who set her security, was doing it. Oh, Mary, you conquered stage 1 of becoming powerful. Now let's see if you can find men that don't work off of you and don't live on you. Again, I'm not in her relationships, but I'm just saying. But she wanted to sign Vado. Now, Misa had already signed as his manager before he started working with Mary. And here's the kicker. Here's what it looked like I got wrong. Sources are saying Mary was not dating Vado, but Misa was. Apparently, Misa was very, very friendly with Vado. Okay? Now, here's where it gets, I do want to say this. When I heard that, I was like, okay, fine, but, and this is the only thing that's unexplained, why was Vado like the thing they were fighting over? Why did you, Vado is not going to have you guys go triple platinum. Vado is not bringing all the girlies to the yard. So why was working with Vado so important? That's why I think that this was basically Mary just not appreciating the way Misa moved in her life, because it seems like you wanted to just have Vado cut ties with Misa just as an FU to Misa, not for the money, just because you wanted to do an FU to Misa. That was weird. Oh, but there's more, okay? Mary didn't have a record label or any artist until Vado, okay? And here's the thing. Misa at this time also was also trying to transition from styling into artist management. And she started off by managing those closest to her. Again, it's alleged that Misa was actually dating Vado. I mean, it really don't matter. It's just a fun gossipy fact. But again, Misa at the same time. So you have two friends for decades, okay? Mary was trying to do her own thing, break free, all this stuff. Their friendship started falling apart before Diddy got arrested, but while Diddy was having financial problems, okay? Now, listen, listen, that's the irony. So then Misa decides, you know what? I don't want to be a stylist anymore. I want to get into the record label business, because she saw the way Diddy made his bag. And then Mary was like, yo, I want to do the same thing. So anyway, long story short, people are saying that even though they are friends, they have a habit of trying to outdo one another by nature, okay? And they're saying that this little tidbit was the last straw, which is why their friendship ended sometime in about February 2024, and they said well before the raid. However, even though it was well before the raid, it wasn't well before Diddy had given that huge settlement to Cassie. And even though the raid hadn't happened yet, Diddy knew that he was being investigated by a grand jury. Diddy's lawyers actually said that in a press conference. So, you know what I'm saying? It could be a lot of things. The reason I wanted to say is what do y'all think this is? Because let me just break the timeline down really, really quick, and then y'all can let me know. Because there's so many things on which way it could be going, but one thing is certain, all right? Mary and Misa were longtime close friends, and they were always seen together. Their friendship began to change around May of last year, right after Diddy's house was raided, but he wasn't arrested. After Diddy's September arrest, Mary was no longer seen with Misa, and Mary made no public statements about the Diddy situation. But that's not surprising, because nobody made any public statements, right? Let's also not forget that historically, every January, Mary, Misa, and Mary's sister LaTonya would take a joint birthday vacation, because I think they're all Capricorns. This year, only Mary and her sister went. Misa didn't attend or even wish Mary a happy birthday, and vice versa, which was a major red flag. Okay? Felt super out of character, and everybody behind the scenes thought there was some type of slight falling out. Okay? Listen, Some people say that Mary has chosen to distance herself from Misa, probably because of the Diddy project, what's going on with Diddy. But a lot of people thought it's because Misa was just too assertive and too controlling. Mary is cutting all, and here's the one thing that people aren't thinking. Mary has been cutting all ties associated with Diddy, including longtime friends like Misa. Okay? Now, one can say that Mary wanted to be free from Diddy's orbit, but couldn't until now, because Diddy was so powerful. The Clive Davis, the Diddy, the Misa, everyone in Mary's world was connected to Diddy and had loyalty to Diddy, okay? And now that Diddy has been neutered and everybody around him is going broke, she is actively removing any connections tied to her past, okay? Now, some people say, I thought that Misa was going against Diddy. But some people are like, that's not true. Misa is very much pro Diddy in the sense that as much as it takes to protect Justin, she wasn't on Diddy's side. She always called him out. But now that Justin is involved in it, she knows that if Diddy goes down, her son goes down too. Other people say that Misa is no longer Team Diddy. Listen, I don't care if Misa or Mary are Team Diddy or not. None of them have publicly come out. I hope to God that Justin isn't involved in his daddy's stuff. But again, what do y'all think? What do y'all think? Again, what do y'all think? I think that this is super, super interesting. And I think the fact that there's a lawsuit online, I tried to pull the papers, but as soon as they filed the lawsuit, they pulled it off of public filings. So there's something in this lawsuit that they don't want us to know about. And that means I want to get a copy. I'm about to email allhiphop.com and be like, excuse me, I have questions. May I? Y'all, listen, what do y'all think of this? I don't actually know what to think. I have my suspicions, and I'm going to tell you my opinion now, and then you let me know your comment in the opinion, okay? I think exactly what I've been saying. Misa and Mary were friends. However, Mary was a hip-hop legend, but in the R&B world, the music world, the industry world, Misa had a baby with music royalty and a billionaire. And someone that you would never want to get on their bad side, because even though her and Diddy have the history, you just don't want those type of problems. I think that Misa came with that same energy, while Mary is, maybe, would I hire my boyfriend to be my bodyguard? I mean, he could do it for free, but I ain't paying you to be my head of security, right? But I feel like maybe Mary's in a new era. And because she always wanted to distance herself from Diddy, she finally saw a way to cut out of everything Diddy's orbit and be free. And now you're looking at this friendship, and yeah, it's 30 years, but there's a dynamic that Mary no longer accepts because she doesn't have to. Misa doesn't have the power she used to. Diddy doesn't have the power he used to. So where does that leave us? Yeah. It leaves us right here with this big mess. I do think that the reason they're fighting over Vado is weird. I do think this whole thing about them saying that if you let go of Misa, then we can sign you, I think that's weird. I'm interested to see what the exact language is. Because if Mary's boyfriend was like, look, we're not bringing an artist, you cool and everything, but we're not bringing an artist that's signed to another label on tour with us. If you were signed with us, we take you, but you're not, so we're not. If they said something like that, then they don't, you know what I'm saying? That changes everything. So again, I want to see what those legal papers say and how they told Vado that he wasn't going to go on tour. Because I refuse to believe that two women with a friendship of 30 years fell out over a circa 2009 moderately talented rapper who is abusive. And you threw it all the way for Vado? Yeah, anyway. Y'all, if anything, Misa, you should be thanking Mary that you ain't invested any more money into that project. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.